Hi everyone, and welcome to another video from Max Scraps. Today I am doing the second challenge from National Scrapbooking Day from Bramble Fox, which is a mood board challenge, and it's basically colours. So the colours that they've picked out are sort of pinks and teals, greens, there's some oranges and things like that in there. So I've literally just raided my scraps bin, and these are the colours I've pulled out. So they're all from different collections. I think primarily they're from the Colour Me Happy, but there's some Bella Boulevard in there, there's some Vicky Bootin, there's some, oh I don't know, there's all sorts in there. So my idea was to lay scraps of paper across a hexagon. Now I didn't have a very big hexagon shape, but I did have this one. So I've basically drawn around it on a piece of white cardstock, and then I've taken a ruler and just drawn around it again, but you could do another ruler and make it even bigger. So that is the template that I'm going to be using. I've shown you my papers. My photo is this one of my son and daughter play fighting in our living room. My son is almost 22 and sometimes behaves like a 12-year-old. So he dived on top of his sister and they were having a play fight in the living room. So that's my photograph. I've got a Tim Holtz hexagon stencil. I've got some Distress Oxide in Salvage Patina and Picked Raspberry that I thought I'd do some sort of background stenciling on the layout with. I've got these foam stickers, and they're basically phrases, but they're in different colours. So there's some pink there and some of the sort of the teal colour, so I thought I could use those. And then on my little ephemera tray, I've got a few little bits and pieces, so I've just pulled them out again from various collections. I think these might be maybe Cocoa Vanilla Studio or an Echo Park collection or something like that, but they're sort of the pinks and teals again. And then I've also got some hexagon punches. I'm not sure what size these are. I think this one might be about 2.5. So that's 2.5, 3. Then I've got another one which I would say is maybe 2, and then another one which is 1. So most of my embellishments today should be my hexagons rather than an awful lot of ephemera. So let's get scrapping. So the first thing I'm going to do is use some plastic wrap, if I can find some. Use the one off here to do some inking. I'll use this, and I'll start off with Salvage Patina. Like that. A little bit of water. And then lay that roughly behind where I think that's going to go. And then dab that up with a little bit of kitchen roll. And then I'm going to do the same again, but with some Picked Raspberry. Water spritzer again. Okay. that is my rough background, and then I'm going to get my stencil and start putting down some hexagons. Some up here. Like that. Bring my hexagon in, because roughly I think I'm going to put it about there. So I might put some down this corner here. Like that. And then just a little bit in that corner. And then I'm going to use picked raspberry and do the same. There we go. Bring this in again. That's fine. I can always add some more later if I want to. So that's the first part of the layout done. And then the next bit is actually putting the strips across the hexagon. And I'm just going to tear the strips today. And I'm just going to start layering straight away. Down at the bottom first. So once I've done that, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cut all these extra pieces off. And that's that piece done. So I'm just going to ruffle those up again a little bit. Bring in my photo. And I want my photo to go kind of like that, but I want the photograph to be backed as well. So I'm just going to do sort of what I did yesterday when I was doing the Chamel layout, and just start layering pieces, cutting them down. Another piece. Around that one. Like that. And then I think I might use that pink one. And that can be my last piece. going to very quickly just distress the edges of that last layer. Okay, and then I'm going to stick this down. I'm wondering whether to back that on some black first. I might do, just to make it stand out a little bit more. Stick that on there. And the last bit. There we go. I'm just going to distress that one as well. There we go. So I'm going to stick that down. Not going to go too close to the edges because I think I'm going to stick things in between there. Put that on there like that. Move it up ever so slightly. There we go. Photograph on there on some foam pads. And if you wanted to do strips like this, you could do it with ribbon, you could do it with some washi tape if you wanted to. So put that on there. And then what I'm going to do with my hexagonal punches is just punch out some of these pieces of paper to add as little embellishment pieces. I don't need loads because there's not a lot of room now. And that green. And then I'll do some small ones. And then smaller again. Little black one. That one. And I'll do a little one of these green ones. And I might not use all these yet, but okay, so let's have a look at where we could put these. So I kind of want them going up and off the page. So I really like this rose one. And I could always do sort of that, and then that in the middle, and then that as well. And then this one, this one, and this one. And then something like that. And then I could have a couple sort of just coming off the sides like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to quickly distress the edges. Of each bit. And then before I stick them down, I'm just going to curl the edges up a little bit, just to add a little bit more interest. I might even stick that one up on some foam again. I'll find some. Two pieces there. Stick that one there. Do this one. Now I think on this layout, even though it is Bramble Fox, I don't think they've specified that you need to use a Bramble Fox piece. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Again, up on some foam. This one's deciding it's not coming up today. That one there. And then this one, I'm just going to tuck behind the photo. Stick that one on the top. And then these few that I've got left, I'm just going to cut them in half and then sort of put them in the corners and things. So have one up there. Going to put one there. And then this one, I think, down here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my embellishment tray and see what I've got. So I've got happy moments together, which could go there. I've got a little journaling bit there which says write it down, which I could put there. I've got a camera which I could put on there, and then I've got this one, the best of times, which I quite like. I might put that there. And then I've also got this little windmill piece which I could either put there or maybe on the side here. Okay, so we'll do happy moments first. Stick my write it down bit on there. That bit there. Then got my little windmill which I could just tuck in. Down there. Got my camera which you can put up on phone. There. And then I'm just going to look at these foam stickers. So I've got remember, hello there, in the pink. I've got a favourite. I might use remember. And if I put it there, it's like remember happy moments together. There we go. And then I've just got some little hearts and things, I think. Put one there. And then I'll just put one there to fill in that gap. And that is the layout done. I hope you've enjoyed today's process video. As I've said, this is a Bramble Fox layout, so go and check out their Facebook page and join in with National Scrapbooking Day. If you've liked what you've seen today, please consider liking and subscribing, not describing. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Bye.